Some see. Hey guys, here we are in Trailbot, about to get a short story. We're gonna head on into Telluride and we're just gonna sit there and finish up this story. I'm pretty sure we're gonna finish it today in the Avu Observatory, Part 3. All right, let's get to it. Okay, when we left off this story, I have to admit, I was a little bit spooked out. I'm kind of scared of the dark to begin with, so a story like this kind of gets me going. But, whew, boy, it was a little scary. Just put yourself in that spot and see what you think. All right, so here we go. We'll pick it up. Then, the thing began clambering up the side of the observatory, and he saw its black outline gradually blot out the sky. Was it in retreat? He forgot about the door, and watched as the dome shifted and creaked. Somehow, he did not feel very frightened or excited now. He felt a curious, sinking sensation inside him. The sharply defined patch of light, with the black form moving across it, seemed to be growing smaller and smaller. That was curious. He began to feel very thirsty, and yet he did not feel inclined to get anything to drink. He seemed to be sliding down a long funnel. He felt a burning sensation in his throat, and then he perceived it was broad daylight, and that one of the Dyak servants was looking at him with a curious expression. Then there was the top of Thaddy's face upside down. Funny fellow, Thaddy, to go about like that? Then he grasped the situation better, and perceived that his head was on Thaddy's knee, and Thaddy was giving him brandy. And then he saw the eyepiece of the telescope with a lot of red smears on it. He began to remember. You've made this observatory in a pretty mess. The Dyak boy was beating up an egg in brandy. Woodhouse took this and sat up. He felt a sharp twinge of pain. His ankle was tied up, so were his arm and the side of his face. The smashed glass, red-stained, lay upon the floor. The telescope seat was overturned, and by the opposite wall was a dark pool. The door was open, and he saw the gray summit of the mountain against a brilliant background of blue sky. "Pah!" said Woodhouse. "Who's been killing calves here? Take me out of it." Then he remembered the thing, and the fight he had with it. "What was it?" he said to Thaddy. "The thing I fought with." "You know that best," said Thaddy. "But anyhow, don't worry yourself about it. Have some more to drink." Thaddy, however, was curious enough, and it was a hard struggle between duty and inclination to keep Woodhouse quiet until he was decently put away in bed and had slept upon the copious dose of meat extract Thaddy considered advisable. They then talked it over together. "It was," said Woodhouse, "more like a big bat than anything in the world. It had sharp, short ears and soft fur, and its wings were leathery. Its teeth were little but devilish sharp, and its jaw could not have been very strong, or else it would have bitten through my ankle." Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, we're pulling right in there, right? Yeah, I tell you right, he's pretty exclusive. They just don't give you a lot of space to do anything in there. I'm not sure they want anybody there. It has pretty nearly," said Thaddy. "It seems to me to hit out with its claws pretty freely. That is about as much as I know about the beast. Our conversation was intimate, so to speak, and yet not confidential. The Dyak chaps talk about a big Calugo, a clang-you-tang, whatever that may be. It does not often attack man, but I suppose you made it nervous. They say there is a big Calugo and a little Calugo, and something else that sounds like gobble. They all fly about at night. For my own part, I know there are flying foxes and flying lemurs about here, but they are none of them very big beasts. There are more things in heaven and earth, said Woodhouse, and Thady groaned at the quotation. And more particularly in the forests of Borneo, than are dreamt of in our philosophies. On the whole, if the Borneo fauna is going to disgorge any more of its novelties upon me, I should prefer that it did so when I was not occupied in the observatory at night alone. That's the end of it. If you can believe it, that's the end of it. So we don't even know. We don't even know what it was. It was a big Calugo or a clang-a-you-a-tang or maybe even a little Calugo. Heck, could have been a little Calugo on the back of a big Calugo. Okay, it's probably not that. All right, I'm just kind of wasting time because the story's done and we just getting into Telluride. That sure is pretty though, isn't it? And yeah, we just kind of rolling in here and we're going to park and just kind of goof around. I think we're in town looking for vet supplies because one of the dogs had a bit of an incident. And I don't think we have a whole lot of luck finding any kind of a pet store in Telluride. I think we end up with some emergency supplies, and that's about it. So I'm just going to let it fade on out here, and we can just sit there and watch the people of Telluride walk around and go shopping. So, cheerio, y'all. Later. Okay, guys, that's about all of that I can take. We're not gonna sit here and watch the weather do nothing. So thanks for coming along on the ride. I'll catch you next time. See. Okay, Rosie, do your thing now. You go, big girl.